What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Anthony Bawn. I'm the writer and creator of Conframa, and we're doing our little cocktail kickback session of Conframa here on VIM Media's YouTube page. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share all the content. I am sipping on some whiskey and ginger beer right now. So, I don't know if you're sipping on anything right now, but you're just water and Jesus? Yes.
Yes, I definitely just have good old Crystal Geyser right now.
Good. But thank you so much. I know you are super busy and you have a lot going on. I mean, like, it's just a blessing. And I am so happy for your growth, knowing when I first met you to where you are now. It's just, I get excited to see these type of stories, and
thank you so much,
and have the opportunity to work with you before everything has went down. So, real quick, just go ahead and introduce yourself,
guys. My name is Brittney Ayona Clemons, and I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I currently live in Los Angeles, and my most recent body of work is Insecure season 5, and I am in episode 2, 4, and 6.
Yes, come on. All right, so let's get it. Before we get into Insecure, let's go back from the first time I met you in the audition for Conframa. It was crazy because I had you reading for a whole completely different character.
Yes, I remember that.
And then I was like, when Robert, we had a conversation because we didn't want it to be, number one, we didn't want it to be cliche because the character name was Keisha, and then we got your beautiful self in there, and then it was like, oh man, this is gonna be, I don't know how this is gonna work out, if we did it that way. So then Robert made this decision. He said, why don't we switch it? Let's have Brittany read for Ashley, and let's have Alexandra read for Keisha. And boom, it fell into the right places of where we started the whole journey. So really quickly, just talk about like your experience with filming, because I know you've been doing a lot of other things prior to working on our set, because I've seen hella your skits on IG, so and they're hilarious. So
thank you so much.
So just
it's been, well, I want to say since 2014. That's when I started acting full time. I moved to LA to sing, so I am a singer songwriter first. Wow. And I had a solo career back in Chicago before I moved here. And I was pursuing that once I moved initially. And I kind of just got into acting naturally, auditioning and being here and being around people. You hear about commercial auditions, you hear about all these different acting opportunities in the midst of being in the entertainment bubble. So I gave it a shot, and I started taking some classes, auditioning with Killian, and, trying to join with Daniel Hoff, all of the first steps that actors take when they first move to LA. Right. I ended up signing with a really good commercial agent, Beverly Hecht. And from there, I started studying. I actually didn't call myself an actor for the first probably 3-4 years of doing it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I want to really study and like take this serious, because I know people who have like studied theater or been to conservatories and maybe even were theater majors in college, and they really, really take.
Wait, so what school did you go to in Chicago?
I went to DePaul University.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated 2011.
You graduated 2011?
Yeah.
So you were at DePaul, because I graduated Columbia.
Oh, wow. You went to Columbia? Oh, my God. So did you ever go to Big Mouth or any of that?
Yes, I was always there.
So I performed at Big Mouth a couple times, actually.
You know what? That is so crazy, because I was heavily in music in Chicago. Okay. So I was I was in every recording studio in Chicago during that time.
Probably my junior or senior year, once I really started to come into my own as an artist and start to branch out and perform a lot. I started music at 18. So it was like right out of high school, I started like.
But I felt like I've seen you like in the South Loop area.
For sure.
Did you stay at the University Center?
I didn't stay at any campus. I kind of commuted back and forth, and I had so many friends that went to Columbia, so I was there a lot.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the first season. What was when you got the script and you found out what character you were reading for, what was your method in regards to the situation? Like, talk about like when you first read about what the show was about.
I was honestly really intrigued by the story because I think it's just a very unique story. It feels like something that has definitely happened before. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's definitely an experience that may have been taken from like parts of it might have been taken from a real life, because I felt really connected to just like the journey of not only my character, but like some of the things that other people were going through throughout the storyline. And then there was so much trauma that Ashley had on top of like just trying to fight out of that situation. Yeah. I had to dig deep to find like, uncover things in the past and you know what I mean? Like kind of relate to like what she was going through, especially with the abuse. I hadn't had any encounter with like an abusive relationship myself, but I've seen my mom go through it. Right. So I would just like kind of try to bring up some things and some experiences in that way.
Right. So then talking on the acting standpoint, what techniques did you use or talk about some of the techniques that you studied? You have the Meisner, Alexander technique and the Stanislavski. So like which one do you gravitate to most? Like
I've only studied the Ayana Chubbuck technique with substitutions. Okay. And I implemented the substitutions, like I said, like using my mom's situation or a person who I may have been upset with when it came to like the fighting scenes and even scenes where we're just trying to like make up with our boyfriend essentially and make him happy, like substituting him with maybe exes that, you just trying to like pacify and smooth it over just so you can keep the peace or whatever. So I've definitely had to use substitutions because a lot of the experiences I didn't have.
Right. Yeah. Cause that was the next question I was going to ask. So what was your thought process of being in a type of throuple relationship where you're the only female and there's two other guys that are like, going at it with each other physically and sexually in a sense, even though we didn't see that in the show, but it kind of alluded to those things. Like I would call you a heterosexual female. What are your thought process in seeing that and then being in the midst of that as an actress?
I think for me as an actress, it was interesting to dive into because even in real life, I've never experienced that. In real life, I've never seen a dynamic like that where people have made it work and that been it. You've always seen, typically you'll see like two girls and one guy, or maybe you'll see three people of the same gender, but I've never seen like two guys and one girl as a relationship and like one that experienced so much like trauma and just like trying to like the violence and trying to work through that. It was definitely like something to do some research on and kind of like study a little bit before I could just dive right into like being on camera with it.
Right. Cool. So now this is just a side question because I know as a working actress in Los Angeles and LA, there is a stigma that everybody has to live up to in a sense. So how do you, and this is going off of, because I watched some of your IG skits and your stories, and you talk about a lot of things of being like an influencer or getting the blue check or, social media. So like, how has social media impacted your career as an actress?
I think in certain situations it's a benefit. For example, if it is an indie project or if it's a smaller budget involved, they do appreciate when an actor maybe has like a little bit of a following going on, because they're like, oh, well, would you mind also being a part of the marketing and the promotions for the projects to help get the word out about it? But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's almost like it's better that you don't have that kind of going on. So I do separate the two. You know, my full name is Brittney Ayona Clemons, but Ayanna the artist is its own brand, and my acting name is just my full name. So that's how I've been able to kind of keep them as their own individual things.
And I'm sure it can be beneficial to you financially if coming with whatever the project is to combine both of them. So and then kudos to you, because when I first met you on set, I had no idea of your social media presence. And I think I told you this. I had no clue. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, this is just a cute girl from Chicago. She's just humble. She's just sweet. But I had no idea that you're like fucking famous on social media. And I'm sitting up here looking like an ass, and everyone is telling me, and I'm just like, you don't even know who this girl is. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And then when I found out, I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know, that it is what it is. But anyway.
You know what, though? I prefer it that way. Like, I prefer it to be an organic thing, and I prefer to be selected based on my talent, not based on the numbers of, you know, another video or something like that. I like each project to kind of stand alone on its own. And I think that it always comes across the best for the art, because everything is in the name of the art or the piece that we're working on. You know what I mean? So if you can have the best talent, screw the numbers of the social media. If you have the best talent, period, and that just so happens to be me, then I'm grateful.
Right. Cool. I love that. So now season 1 is out and released. Looking back on it, what was your thoughts of the show?
I really think it was something that I've never seen on TV before. It's very unique. It's very, I feel like there's always something going on. Like there's like, it's like constantly something. It's like, oh my God, it keeps you, it's attention grabbing for sure. Mm-hmm. And there's very attractive people on screen. I just think it's its own body of work. And I think that that's why you've also been able to develop the story for multiple seasons too, because it is such an interesting story. And I think it was cast very well also.
Yeah, I mean, the first season cast was spot on. To this day, people talk about the very first season, and it's hard to break away from the very first season, because it was like y'all characters were so staples of that season. Even in season 3, your character is still, season 2 and 3, your character is still mentioned, as though it's like, you know, the character is not dead, but it's mentioned that your character is on the run and hiding.
Oh. Love it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah. So now let's jump into, what are you working on now? Because I had no idea, and I saw you on a because it's always like 1 degree of separation, because I know a lot of people who work on Issa Rae's team, and it's like, it's the same thing with Lena Waithe. I know a lot of people that work on her team as well. So when I saw you on the red carpet of Insecure, I said, for me, I said I didn't even know how many episodes you got. I didn't even know that, whatever it was. But I said to me and my husband, we both said she finally got her part in a bigger show. And we were so happy for you.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was a blessing to even be a part of the final season, because after the season, there is no more Insecure. So there wouldn't even be any more opportunities available for people to audition again. Like, I made like the cut. So I was so grateful. And just how it all happened was really wild.
Well, I was going to ask that. I was like, if you can talk about it.
Yeah.
How was that process?
So this was all during COVID when they were doing auditions. So everything was self-tape. I had came to one of my good friends, Dean, who always like helps me with like a lot of my serious auditions. I came and I asked him, I was like, hey, can you help me read for this? And it was like a really tough time I was going through because my mom was in the hospital. Like she was in the nursing home and the hospital, in and out of like rehab because we were waiting for her to wake up. Right. She went into a cold blue or whatever you want to call it, like a when you can't breathe. I can't even remember the name of whatever.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened, and from there, because of the brain damage, with her being unable to breathe for 5 minutes, she basically was in the hospital, and we were just waiting on her to wake up. Right. So I was dealing with that. Came back, did these auditions. I just so happened to book it right before Thanksgiving. So I was planning on coming home and telling my mom last year before Thanksgiving that I booked the part.
Right.
And she passed away the day before.
Oh no, I remember seeing that. And I remember when I saw you last time we saw each other in person, I gave you my condolences because I saw that and I know how close you were with your mother. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was my best friend. So it was like, I got this amazing opportunity. I'm like, what the fuck life is happening?
Yes.
So it was really crazy because it was like a blessing, but I was like, and I don't know if it all happened because God was just trying to keep me from losing my mind. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, this is happening to you, but you also just got this major blessing. So you have to work out. You have to study part. We started shooting in January. So it was like, okay, yes, this is really hard, but we still got to get ready because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So yeah, I feel like the job saved my life. Mm-hmm.
Well, but, and also just, to speak further on to that, to let you know that you do matter. Your presence does matter. And don't ever feel as though that because of something that's devastating as that, trust me, I know how that feels, but your presence, you don't realize what your presence and your perseverance is going to help somebody else. So just always keep that in mind, that there are people who are rooting for you. There are people who support you, and there are people that cry. No, because I'm being very serious because I know, and it's so weird because even though I know we don't talk on a daily basis, when we see each other, our energy exchange, it's like it's always genuine because it's like I know at your core, you're a really sweet person and you're a nice person. It's just that we're just in this Hollywood world, and we all know how this Hollywood world is. Mm-hmm. So it's like, just know, my sister from your brother, you hang in there. You got this. Hang in there. You got this.
I am. I'm definitely. I'm still. Thank you, Jesus. I'm still going. So, the job. It wasn't only like a blessing, but it was like a savior for me. I had a motivation to pull myself up out of that space, and here we are a year later. The show premiered on her birthday. Like the very first episode came out on my mom's birthday. So,
see, that's divine. That's God. See that? Because he wanted to make sure that you, even though that your blessing happened, you got another blessing, that it fell on the exact same day as your mother was a blessing to this world. So now it all happened the way that it's supposed to happen. So that's good. So I really to make sure you understand that you do matter and you are very important to this world.
Thank you.
Yes. So, all right. So trivia.
Okay.
So now, season 1, in episode 4, what color shirt did you have on at the very top of episode 4?
Is it blue?
Damn, yes, it was blue because you had the bruised eye.
Yes.
Yes,
it was. I think it was blue. Yeah, I remember. I remember that being.
Oh, wow, you'll be surprised. Every other person when I go to the trivia, the very first question they like, they get it. So, second question. All right, where did Derek lock Chase in episode 4?
Was it the closet?
Yes, look at you. You own it.
I think I remember the storyline pretty well, but
yeah. Okay.
I don't
know. All right. So in episode 3,
okay,
you and Derek was having a back and forth. What object did he pick up to hit you with?
Wasn't it his hand? I don't think he picked up anything, right? No?
He picked up something.
He did.
So I'll give you a little bit of a hint.
Okay.
So you were laying on the couch. He had his hand around your neck.
Okay.
And he picked up something that was laying on the couch to hit you with. This is very dark, by the way. I'm
trying to remember because I remember the choreographed scene.
Yeah.
So it looked really like authentic.
Right.
What the fuck again? I don't remember. I can't.
It was a remote control.
Oh my God. I would have never remembered that. I would have never remembered that.
Me and Robert wanted it to be something really dramatic because we knew Kwame had the prosthetics for the eye. So it was like, I mean, his fist could cause this, but let's just amp it up. And Robert just threw the remote on the sofa. And then
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very authentic, y'all. Like,
yes.
What we needed is to raise the stakes, right?
Right. So thank you so much, Brittany, for spending just a little bit of your time with me, going through coming and having a Jesus moment, and also being able to, just for me to pay homage to you, because I don't think that a lot of brothers, I would say, pay homage to our sisters that's out here really working hard in Hollywood to make a name for themselves without being tarnished and slandered, because we all know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've
yes,
people say some crazy things about some of my fate. I'd be like, oh wow. I mean, I totally understand. So I appreciate that. Means a lot.
Of course, I'm in the game with you, so I understand what you're going through and what people will perceive that is not actually true. Let people know other like Insecure and what else you've been working on or you got coming out.
Okay. Well, you can check me out on all social medias, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Ayona, the artist, Ayanna, the artist, one word, and a couple of other projects that I have coming. I can't even say it, but I mean, it's another. I can't say it, but it's really big. It's another really big TV show. It will be out hopefully at the top of next year, maybe spring. Oh,
that's the one you went to New York for?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that's going to be pretty big. I am hoping, praying, wishing that it blows up and it's like a great thing. But I think you guys are going to love it. Everything else that I have that I've done this past year, it's already out or it's coming out right now. So I'm just gearing up and auditioning as much as I can right now.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us on this little cocktail after hour for Conframa. Please, everybody, make sure that you follow Brittney Ayona on her social media, all her platform. Also, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment to this YouTube channel to make sure that you can see more of what we do and how we do it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.